Welcome to The Mirror. I'm Sarah, and this season we're talking about obedience to authority, how and why people sometimes obey orders even when those orders go against their ethics, reason, or inner voice. In the first episode takes us into one of the most striking psychological experiments ever conducted. It's called the white coat. We like to think of ourselves as independent people, that if something feels wrong, we'd stand against it. But psychology tells us that's not always the case. Sometimes the only reason we do something is because the person telling us to do it looks official. And that's exactly what Stanley Milgram set out to study in 1963. In his experiment, volunteers were told they'd be part of a study on memory and learning. They played the role of a teacher giving word tests to a student. Every time the student gave a wrong answer, they were instructed to deliver an electric shock. The student was an actor. The shocks weren't real, but the volunteer didn't know that. The person overseeing the experiment wore a white lab coat. No yelling, no threats, just calm, formal language and the appearance of scientific authority. He said things like, "Please continue. The experiment requires that you go on. It is essential that you continue. You are not responsible, I am." That was enough. And the result? 65% of participants went all the way to the highest voltage level, even when the actor screamed, begged for help, or fell silent as if unconscious. Why? Because someone wearing a white coat with a calm voice said, "Please continue." No threats, no force, just authority. At work, your boss says, "I think it's best if we delete this file." You delete it not because you agree, but because they're the boss. In bureaucracies, orders come from above and get followed without question. And responsibility gets lost in a long chain of thoughtless obedience. When power doesn't need to yell, when it just wears a white coat and speaks politely and we still obey, that's when it's not just around us, it's inside us. And if we don't question it, don't pause, don't say no, then someone will always be there to say, "I was just following orders." Real power doesn't need violence, it only needs us to stay silent and follow through. But no authority lasts without obedience. In the next episode, we'll look at how authority doesn't just live in rank, but in language and tone. Stay with us.